There's a man in the woods. What a spectacle. Before the story started, the school was still respectable. My students used to skip down the whole hill, the honeysuckle, to pluck a couple and collect their nectar till they picked their fill, except the obnoxious kid Sid, who watched them eat flowers while he seethed and scowled, 'cause he couldn't bear to share his sweet treats through our recess hours. I remember Sid saying, "There's a man in the woods." That's how the rumors began. Of course Sid spotted him first. The poor kids, he got 'em immersed before the spell about a serial killer, whose gun barrel glint hid us said peril. A visit to the nurse, or worse, a hearse waiting beyond the dale, and the children saw him everywhere. "Look, over there. That man had Batman ears. We swear. And crazy yellow eyes. We saw something rusty. His shotgun? It must be. I saw a lady's severed thigh. Trust me, every word I heard was absurd. Yet each day Sid would stray down, way past the playground. Who else was brave enough to save us from the serial killer's next plot? The rest of the lot would be stopped back up at the black top, sure that any closer they were bound to be found deep in the woods, left to rot. I pleaded for the kids to think, to learn and be mature, but after a few more rumors doomed on any attempts to prove the school was secure, their fear was deterred, and when the buses drove them all home, the parents finally heard. Everything just blew up. I received a wall of emails and calls full of shrieks, wails, and all, from the terrified families who'd heard of the murderer and didn't like any lack of action at all. What was I supposed to do? Comb the whole forest? Yeah, right. Would you? That means I didn't care. That's not fair. The stories that worried you weren't true. Of course, I would feel regret. There had been a real threat and I ignored it. And some poor kid got kidnapped while the kids were napping. But you couldn't admit that your little kid would formulate a fib, so you ignored what I said. Your little angels could never look up in such incredible creations. Overreactive imagination, maybe, but my kid would never lie. How dare I accuse a child of being dishonest? Just monstrous. The parents were displeased. When the PTA took action, they dismissed me from the classroom, like they knew it was best for their kids. Do you know how difficult it is to get a job when a bitter mom slanders your rep and with child neglect from the outset? Now who's in control of your classes? Single file lines. Single file lines? Little vile swine, like a killer by the pine, really? Are you blind? Will you find your spines? Sid, a child decides to fill our minds with lies, and the next thing you see is people treating me like I've committed a crime. I was in my prime. Those kids were lucky to have me. Do you see what you did? But I can play along. I can be good. Do you hear that, Sid? There's a man in the woods. What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.